Yes. So today we'll make all the important points of application development server. So the very first point that we write is first its alternate name. It is also called as Cassini server. First point, alternate name, Cassini server. Important point. It also gets installed along with Visual Studio. Then a web application can be executed on this server. Fourth, it has lesser features than IIS Express. This server has been removed from Visual Studio 2013 and later releases. So before it was available. And this server has completely been removed from 2013 till 2012 it was available. And all after that 2013, 2015, 2017, right? In all these releases, yes, this we don't have support of Cassini server. So now you are going to host your web application either on IIS server or on IIS Express. That's it. Only two servers. Either on IIS server or on IIS Express. Only two. Yes. Now, going further, now we are going to learn solution project for Asp Net. Okay. Here you can working with solution and project. Of Asp.NET. Here heavy rain is there, Anand. What we learn is all Asp.NET projects and their respective files used in project by default will be available in project folder. All the things will be available in project folder. Second, for Asp.NET, Visual Studio creates solution as a folder in different location along with solution file, that is .sln extension. where it will create solution now. It will be like this. C drive, user. In that user, mm, source, yeah, here. This will be the location where solution file by default. Then this is the location, default location for especially for ASP.NET, especially for ASP.NET. This is the location. And third point, a project created for ASP.NET application can be at user specified location. So it could be anything. C:// dot dot dot, wherever you want. Okay. So or we'll use that our application CS, whatever is our folder, no? That folder will write. So C drive, CS batch 6 p.m. that folder. CS batch 6 p.m. This is the location. Project I'm saying. Solution will still be where solution is still where it is in default location. Default location. And project will be at your choice. Now we have a provision to change the default location of solution to ASP.NET application tools, options, projects and solutions, locations, project location, and you give C:/CS batch 6 p.m. Yes. Once you change this, now interesting thing is now solution and project will be created in the same folder. In the same folder. In the following way. C:// CS batch 6 p.m. This is our location. Inside this, you'll have one folder, website 1. Folder. That will be your project. And inside this project, you'll have web.config. Then it will have one more folder. Website 1 of 2. This is also folder. but it is of solution. And you'll have one file also. Website 1.sln. Web.config is a file. Website 1.sln is also file. So project has web.config, solution has your .sln extension. This is the after changing the location. You can after changing the location. Okay, let's go and see how the process actually works here. Save all. Exit from here. Now open Visual Studio 2017. Yes. Now as usual, file, new. For C# VB, we always used to say file, new project. But this time I click on website. Yes. Now interesting thing is here. First, make a choice of your language. So C#. First, you have to make a choice of what language. Visual C#. Framework version 4.6.1. We are using that. An interesting thing is here, web location. It shows file system. And remember, whenever web location is file system, it means you are whenever I say what file system, which means your application will be now hosted on IIS Express. The application is hosted on IIS Express, and I'm not interested here. I want to put the websites in my folder. Browse. Then go top. C drive. Bash 6 PM. Say open. Yes. And whatever the name you're interested, give that name. Slash website 1. Website 1. And here you have here ASP.NET empty website. And here website 1 is our project name. Let's see what it is. Once you go to the OS, there we can check. But empty website. Location is web location is what? File system. What did I say? Whenever you make a choice of file system as web location, it means you're going to host your web application on IIS Express. IIS Express. If you change this, to HTTP, then it means you're going to host your web application on IIS server. So that makes a difference. If file system application is hosted on IIS Express, if I'm saying if you change your web location to HTTP, then it means you're going to host your application on So if it is HTTP, what does it mean? You're going to host your application on IIS server. And another interesting thing you find as third option is FTP. That requires few additional things to make available in our software. So for that reason, FTP is the only one where we don't find any implementation of FTP. That alone will not work. Otherwise, rest all will be for us. Earlier, there was even other servers, but whether it is on, whether the location is on, file system. So as I said, no, if it is file system, it means you're going to host your application on what? So then what do you say? If it is file system, then you can host your application on what? Two things I said. Two things. What are they? One is IIS Express. Second is Web Application Development Server. That application, Visual Studio Application Development Server. Both of them will go with what? File system. HTTP is the only one. HTTP is the only one where you find that it is going to host your application on what? IIS server. Okay. Now, as I already said you, in order to make your application to run on FTP web server, then compulsory you should download some files. You should download some files related with what? FTP. Compulsory, otherwise it doesn't work at all. Okay. Now, compulsory, what do you need? Software is needed. Then only it is going to work for us. Directly, you cannot go for execution. And we got some special namespaces, special classes that are designed. Okay. So special what? Namespaces, special classes, right? Special methods, all are designed for the case of what? FTP. What is FTP? That is also I'm talking about what? Web server. Three options. So however, we are going to make a choice first for file system. Just simply click OK. Yes, now website is created. Here, website. We'll go and check once what is the story in your operating system. C drive, CS batch 6 PM. And here you will have website 1. Yes. Open it. Yes. Bin. You have all these files available. And where is the solution? Solution will be here. C drive. Users. Username. Source. Repository. Website 1. Here. So if you open this folder, you'll have website 1.solution. Yes. So now I connect like website, solution in ASP.NET. And project is in CS batch 6 PM folder. Solution is in default location of your website, and the project is you could find. Now, how do you change asset? If you want to have solution and project both in the same location, then you have to work on this in this way. Tools, options. Now, when you go to options, you will have something called see where is that folder? Yeah, second one, projects and solutions. Project and solutions. Expand. Expand. Here, locations. And here you have project location. Project location. We want to change to C:/user/ user/source/ repository. But where do you want this? You want this to be a part of CS batch 6. So I can change my folder C:/CS batch 6. That's it. So if you're interested, you can change it. If not, we'll go with the same process. Like solutions all will be in your repository folder. Okay. That's I'm saying to your choice only. Okay. If you're interested, go for it. Otherwise, nothing will happen. That's it. Cancel. Okay. Now what do you want is now you want to add a web form into the created project of ASP.NET. You want to add a web form. So to add a web form, there are many techniques. Many. One technique I'll go little lengthy, but we'll do that. I'll just want to show you. Solution Explorer. Right click on the project. Add. So what did I say? Right click on the project here, not solution. Right click on the project, add, add new item, web form. Now you can see there is a file name mentioned in the bottom for the web form. It's called default.aspx. Web form is what now? Default.aspx. Okay. Classic ASP extension was only .asp. Only .asp. For ASP.NET extension is ASPX. Then after selecting this web form, click on add. Before you click on it, don't forget to check this box. This checkbox. Place code in separate file. Must you have to make a choice. So what did I say? Web form is being added. And web form, when you're making a choice, again in this window you can see on the top left corner, it's again asking Visual Basic, Visual C Sharp. So it means already your project is decided. So what you're adding now? Web form. Click on add. Right? One technique I'm showing. If not like this, easy, I feel easy. And for that, what you're supposed to do is here you could find website menu will be there. Add new item. Web form. Web form. Default name default.aspx. How did you get this window now? We brought it from website menu. Add new item. But select default.webform.asp. Website, web form. Click on add. Two approaches I made you learn now to create a web form. Either you come from Solution Explorer. So default name is default.asp. If you want to have your own name, that is also fine. Just left to your choice. But you can customize the name. So we don't change now. That unnecessary makes confusion. We'll talk about it later, but I just want to complete this basic part. Click on add. Compulsory, I asked you to check this checkbox. Place code in separate file. Click on add. Yes, now one file will be added. Yes, go on top. And what do you see here? Same again. HTML is there, head is there, body is there, form is there, div tag is there. Same na? HTML content only. And how many files you find now? One you already find. One. Default.aspx. One more will also be there, which I haven't opened yet. That will be for writing code that will be for writing. Okay, and what do you notice in this complete pages? As I already said, document type is there, HTML, head, body, all that stuff. But on the top, first line you can see, you can notice that it is less than percentage, percentage greater than. Last session, recollect of ASP. May write something in less than percentage and percentage greater than, that is treated. Okay, what is this called? I said server instruction it is, because it is placed in percentage. Less than percentage, percentage greater than. Whatever you have written, that is your what? Server. Okay. So what do you call this as? Page directive. And depending on our different topics in ASP.NET, I will make you learn about the other directives. As of now, it is page directive. And in that page directive, it's mentioned that this web page is being designed using a language C#. There is something called auto event wire that is set to true. We don't know about it. We'll talk about it later. Code file, and that code file is default.aspx.cs file. Okay. Then what is the code file you have? Default.aspx.cs and inherits underscore default. So first I would like to show you the second file. Second file. And what is that second file you have is default.aspx.cs. Default.aspx.cs file. Okay. So now here you could notice that there is a file called so now we have to see how does it go for using this. But first important thing is how to get that default.aspx.cs file. Default.aspx.cs file. How do you open that file? So to open that file, two approaches we have. One, as we do in this one, C#. To open, you have there also you have design.cs. Design. Form1.cs design will be there. Form1.cs logic will be there. So now we have to open logic file. Logic file of what you have to open? Logic file of default.aspx you have to open. So to open that, you can press F7. You can press what? F7. Yes, we got that file. Default.aspx.cs. Default.aspx.cs file. Default.aspx.cs file. And in that class, in that CS file, you can find a class, and you have same C# style coding. C# style coding. But interesting thing is there is one class called partial class. There is something called partial class. Okay. So two files we have. One is default.aspx that will be used for designing, and second is default.aspx.cs file that is for writing logic coding. For to write coding part, we write default.aspx.cs file. Designing part we do with default.aspx. That is okay. So today we discussed one way of creating a C# project, and in that we have learned how to add a web form that for designing a code as well as for writing the logic of that program for both the things, and how to deal with that part we have already discussed. There is another way of creating a project of ASP.NET. Another way, project of ASP.NET. Another technique we have. Another technique. This is one way I have shown you. We have another way as well. Another way. So that way, probably I'll be discussing in detail in tomorrow's class. And coming to another important thing is in this default.aspx, remember I haven't explained you much about the page directive. Only language I said, that is about C#, and auto event wire up. We have not studied anything. Code file default.aspx.ch, just now I demonstrated about it. And then I went with inherits. So even I have not made you anything. I did not discuss anything about inherits as well. Only two things we studied: language and code file. That's it. And especially in this default.aspx file, you can see here two options are available. One is design, where you can go with drag and drop technique, and second is source, where you can make your things available with here also designing only, no doubt, designing of form, either by writing code you can design, or you can go with drag and drop. You can write a code. I'm saying coding is also like scripting only. You have to write scripts for every control. You have to write one script here, or when you write a script here, it will make that control visible in design window. Or if you go in design window, then you can find that source code available. It means that design and source, they are synchronized. Design and source window, they both are synchronized. You do something in there in C# also, we have form1.designer.cs file and form1.cs design file. They both are synchronized in C#. If I do something in designer.cs file, that would reflect even into form1.cs design window also. If you make changes in designer, that will reflect in design window. Or if you do something in design window, automatically it will be reflected into designer.cs file. Same way, default.aspx has two windows. Default.aspx, one is called source window, the other is called design window. Here two things are there. If it is design window, you don't write code here, just drag and drop process. If it is course source window, then you're going to write some code here. Some tags you write. Scripts, I said, no scripting. You're going to script. You're going to have this. Drag and drop also will work. But when you drag and drop, you won't have control. When you drag and drop, you could notice. When you drag and drop, you could notice what script is generated here. Script. If you want to place a button, drag and drop a button here, script will be generated. If you go to design window, direct button will be available. Script will be here, button will be in design window. That makes a difference. Once you see, you'll get to know what actually the scenario is. Right? Compilation, execution, same shortcut keys, same process. Compilation, you want build your website. Execution, start without debugging, start debugging, same scenario. But only difference is if I run my program here, if I run my website here, it will straight away makes your website run on some browser. So which browser you want, you have to decide here. File, here. Browse with, yes. You have all these browsers available. Chrome is there. Internal web browser means internal web browser. When I say it is something related with internal web browser, means this is a browser provided by Visual Studio. Browser provided by Visual Studio. Internal web browser. So you can host your application even in with the internal web browser, or you can host your application on Internet Explorer. So definitely I'm interested to go with. So I just made Internet Explorer as default. Well, internal web browser comes with what? Visual Studio. Internet Explorer comes with what? Operating system. OS. It's built into OS. Internal web browser comes with Visual Studio. And Firefox, Opera, Chrome, these all are third-party browsers that you can make even run. If they are installed, you can make your website even run on those browsers as well. Because here browser will act as client. Browser will act as a client. That's it. If you want to run a program, same process. Debug, start without debugging. Execution process. Same. Instead of going with debug here, instead of going in this way, you can directly click on this Internet Explorer. So our application will be directly hosted on Internet Explorer. You can do, I'm saying. There's an approach, I'm saying. If you're not comfortable with that, you just better go in and out as usual C# program. Start without debug. Control F5. Yes, as I already said you that we are going to make we are going to make our application again. Hmm. What is the other technique? One more way, I said, no? One more way to host your application. One more way to host your application on what? On sorry, on to host your application on IIS Express only, no doubt. But approach we will change. We don't use this technique. What I have shown you today, file new website, not this technique. Okay, another approach to create your website project. That part I'm going to discuss probably in my next class. So I will stop the session here.